if you could just take pause and try and put yourself in the shoes, in the boots, in the buildings, and in the streets of not only New York City right now, not only at the Pentagon, not only in that fateful field in Pennsylvania. If you could put yourself in the position 18 years ago, being those people who got up on a beautiful, mild, weathered, sunny day and went about their business of providing in life, whether they were a first responder, whether they were a private business person, whether they were just a retired person taking care of their grandchildren. I'm going to ask you to take pause and put yourself 18 years ago at those three venues. And imagine what those people went through. And we're going to hear about that as this program goes on today. And it all comes back to never forgetting. You hear this, we shall never forget, we will always remember. Well, there are many ways that we show reverence to our past. There's many ways that we memorialize our past, and certainly today is one of those days. But I'm going to tell you what we owe to those thousands of people who have passed away, to the thousands upon thousands of family members who are here today that don't have their loved ones. You know, I heard a number the other day, there were 17 babies born after 9/11 whose fathers were killed in the attack. To those 17 babies who are now, 17, 18 years old now. And what we owe them is a life of humble service. If we don't take anything from 9/11, we take away that our service to others and our humility and our niceness and our spirit of peace is now more important. Just this past week, we sent a contingent of Louisiana firefighters that the governor ordered to go help Florida and help South Carolina. And in that contingent were firefighters from Tangipahoa Parish. That's what we do. When we see tragedy as first responders, we immerse ourselves into being part of something bigger than that tragedy. And what's bigger than that tragedy is being prepared to serve the next need in our country. So what I ask you to do, I don't have to ask you to do this because I know you already support your first responders in this parish, and I certainly appreciate that. But it's time to take it to a different level. Your first responders have needs. They have many, many needs. Pay attention to the leaders of your fire departments. Pay attention to your sheriff. Pay attention to your police chiefs. Pay attention to your emergency managers. Pay attention to your emergency medical folks. And listen to them, because when they tell you they need something, it's not because they want it. It's not because they have a bunch of toys that they play with. It's because they know in their eyes what their men and women may face one day. And they know the training, they know the equipment, and they know the leadership that's needed. Because if Tangipahoa Parish is ever faced with a man-made disaster, a terrorist attack, or just a bad community emergency, their job is to save lives and save property, and that's all they're asking you to do this. So I'll leave you with, it's time to look ahead, and it's time to appreciate our first responders for the selfless, humble service that they give us every day. Because the reality is that every one of us in this venue today would need one of these first responders one day. And depending on how well they could respond determines whether someone lives or someone dies. And in some cases, as we've learned in 9/11, 343 New York City firefighters died saving thousands of people. And immediately after the attacks, Chris Ferreira's here. It was Chris Ferreira, Hunt Downer, and Leo Honeycutt were on the committee that Governor Foster charged to get this thing built. And Chris had a fire truck manufacturing plant. So I said, well, Chris, can you take on this? And if we don't raise the money, just build it and donate it? He goes, I'll do that. Well, he didn't have to do that. We raised a lot of money, and we delivered that truck to New York City. And we talk about it because we delivered it. We thought it was Louisiana's gift to New York, and we did our part. Little did we know, when Hurricane Katrina would strike, New Orleans would lose fire trucks. And Chris and I were rallying up more firefighters to come help with Katrina, and we called New York, and they sent us 100 firefighters, and they said, well, can you and Chris meet us at the Mississippi State line? I said, we sure will. We get up there, and the very first vehicle is the Spirit of Louisiana, and we had orders from the mayor of New York sending the Spirit of Louisiana home, because its people need it. So we have it back. It's went to Superstorm Sandy and helped firefighters, but it's now time to take it off the road. It's 18 years old. It's been, I guess, battered, beaten, and tested, and it's won. So we're trying to build a home for the Spirit of Louisiana on the grounds of the Fire Marshal's office next to the 9/11 Steel Memorial. So this week is our big GoFundMe campaign. We're trying to raise $400,000 to build this building. So we're asking everybody to participate just as everybody participated in the building of that truck across this state. I'll never forget the little kindergartner that gave Governor Foster 32 cents in an Altoids box, and Governor Foster gave that to Governor Pataki when we went to show that, hey, Louisiana dug deep and every little bit helps. So we're asking people to donate. If it's $1, if it's 35 cents, if it's hundreds of dollars, if it's thousands of dollars, we'll take anything. So we have a GoFundMe page set up. It's Home for the Spirit of Louisiana. You can go to our social media as well as many others and get a direct link to that. But we're really promoting that, and we're asking people to give what they can. Every dollar helps.